An anvil must be nearby. The gauntlet resonates with it. Decent challenge. Now shatter them for good. There is something nearby. I can feel it. You should too.
Yes. That major piece must be close.
Did you get the loot? What loot? What loot are you referring to, buddy? How you doing? I haven't played this that much because the PC port is broken. The PC port is broken.
An anvil.
They did like this huge update, but then like the frame rate is all jacked up. So
Come over
I
here.
haven't played that much, honestly.
What are you?
But yeah, this is the new update.
Right. Is that what you're doing here?
My what? But we. If you know what.
Thank you for
The
the...
big monster
Well,
dropped.
I found
Oh,
these. According, perhaps
that's useful backseating.
These documents...
they seem.
Need
but
to let you
so-
skip
This
conversations.
sounds...
So,
I'll go now.
Is Atlas fallen? Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't get the loot. Thanks. That's why I let people backseat me. I've got a low frustration threshold because of being neurodivergent, so I don't mind. I know some people get really anal about that. I don't mind it at all, you know. It helps me not get chrono triggered. I'm cool with it. Doesn't bother me. I mostly play games where I kind of just have to perform better anyway, so thank you for that backseating. It's very useful.
There is something here in the sand. Stay on your guard. This is it. The major piece we need to unearth the Knight's Gate.
Now we just need more shot.
This piece, I can see...
Wait. What's happening?
10.
Nah, we're skipping that, sorry.
In the name of...
A vision from the... that they had...
I fear I will...
No. Take that piece, but move.
Probably ways off though. Oops. Still getting used to combat. Well, I'm still at the beginning because the PC port is all messed up. That's why. PC port is a broken mess. Everyone's favorite thing about being a PC gamer, right? Spend a lot of money on your computer and the game's not over. Everybody loves that, right? It's totally why you're always a PC gamer.
A majestic
This game is pretty
performance.
legit.
This fight coat your
Oh, it's right here. Wow, you're very you had a lot of restraint to not spoil that. I thought it was gonna be like hours away. Alright. Well, I'm definitely putting that on main. Oops. Oh, whoa, that's sick. Gap closer got a stinger. Talking about you can dodge cancel? What are you talking about, dude? You're lying. Dodge canceling right now. What the hell are you talking about? It's not as good as the flash guard, but it is a dodge cancel. I don't know if the previous version was like that or not, but yeah, it looks like a dodge cancel to me, dude. It's just you don't always want to use it because the guard cancel doesn't stop your animations. It's pretty much like East flash guard. East flash guard is like that. But like it doesn't like actually, it's not like an actual dodge. Well, the update kind of came out with not a lot of fanfare, and then also like I said on PC, it's getting a lot of flack because they haven't fixed stuff that was they already knew about ages ago. So that sucks. But I am enjoying the game for what it's worth. It's been fun. Don't have a lot of tolerance for broken PC ports, as I shouldn't. Spending money I don't have on a new graphics card that's in here already, so I got no patience for that at all. I shouldn't have to. The whole point of upgrading was to not have
you can
problems.
rest and grow stronger there.
I've already had 2 games not work like they're supposed to. This and Visions of
More
Mana.
shards. Imagine how much stronger they will make us.
Visions of Mana is just a disaster, though. It's a lot worse than this game. Visions of Mana is
Look
hey,
there.
it's nice that we,
The strange energy I am feeling. That is where it is coming from.
it's nice that we give you a demo, but the demo runs so bad that you're, not gonna buy the game anyway. Just pretty much Visions of Mana in a nutshell. You know, it's nice to actually give us a PC demo, because PC players always get treated like criminals. They don't ever give you a demo for anything. And then, they finally give us one, and the demo runs so poorly that it doesn't really accomplish anything. I tried that game. It's I kind of wanted to buy that game as well, but that demo made me,
Interesting.
remove that from
Perhaps
my
we
schedule.
can find someone who has a use for this.
Apparently it's a lot to ask to, charge $60 for a game that actually works.
Feel the world
Can't
around
expect
you.
that anymore. They're wanting $100 for deluxe editions and stuff, and they run worse. What's up, Alvy? Oops. Gotta get up there somehow. I'll say that about the slime game. The slime game works perfectly out of the box. Probably one of the better PC ports I've played recently, which is kind of depressing in a way. That game is so low budget, but at least they made a good PC port. It also works perfectly on Steam Deck as well. You get 3.5 hours of battery life. Not bad. Visions of Mana is just a disaster. That game, mark my words, unless the demo is drastically fixed, which I doubt it, because I don't think that the demo is a very old build, that game is going to launch with mixed reviews on Steam. Maximum mixed reviews. It's definitely not getting a positive. That game is the perfect example of why they don't make demos for PC games anymore. They never give us a demo. That's exactly why. Nah, this combat is better than God of War. At least, new God of War. New God of War combat sucks. And you spend so much time in forced walking sections and cutscenes you can't skip. This is definitely more of a gameplay game. I tried the God of War that's on PC, the first reboot one. I hated it. I only played it for an hour. I thought it was a shit game. I just don't also really thematically care about... I don't thematically care about humanizing Kratos. It's just not something you can do after he's been such a terrible person for like 20 years. I don't resonate with that at all. You know, like if they wanted to have like the ultra violence, but then like have a humanized character, they should have made like a different character completely instead of use him again. But obviously for branding, they still use him. But I just don't think he's redeemable as a person. Having an annoying kid doesn't help either. The roguelike mode actually looks pretty legit. I might try that when it's, you know, not $70.
My senses are yours.
Definitely not paying full price for that roguelike mode. I'll wait till it's like $30. You know how much I love my roguelikes. Yeah, the interesting thing about Visions of Mana is they're like clearly trying to compete with Tales, but like doing a bad job at it. I posted about this in my Discord, but somebody was like, Tales of Arise ran perfectly. I'm like, yeah, it did. Tales of Arise is not a great Tales game, but man, that PC port was legendary. They did an incredible job. I find it weird that Square Enix is trying to compete with
Power.
Tales,
A
but
shard is
the
close.
PC port
We
is
should look for it.
so bad. Yeah, I saw the Kazan gameplay. Very disappointed. Looks like another generic Souls game. It's not like this, which is actually trying to do something different. My interest for that game just like evaporated watching that. Like, how does that fit? How does that fit DFO gameplay, which is like fast-paced and like every character is like cosmic level? Like, how does that fit? Like, not even trying to make it interesting. It's just another generic Souls game. We have too many of those already. At least this game, despite its faults, is doing something different. The combat is pretty unique. It's not the same thing again.
Let me help you see.
Wait, it's not an MMO anymore? Then what is it? Is it a gacha game? That's news to me, dude. I didn't know that. Do it, you doofus!
Excellent. An important find, Gauntlet Bearer.
I think they made that decision because, I don't know if you guys know a lot about Korean MMOs, but or just MMOs in general, but generally when you try to make a sequel to a successful MMO, it backfires and fails. There's been a number of times that this has happened. I can list a couple right now. MapleStory 2, that was supposed to be like this juggernaut game because MapleStory has made so much money and it failed. Ragnarok Online 2, another one. That game failed and they pretty much just went back to updating the first game. Those are probably the main ones. I think they're like really averse to making a sequel to DFO because like the problem is how do you like make a sequel to something that has like 20 years of content? You know, the comparison is going to be it doesn't have as much content as the original. It's like, well, of course they can't. They can't make a game that has 19 years of content at launch. It's just not possible to do that. Especially when you have to start from scratch and you're not recycling anything other than maybe like some character and enemy designs and like the world that it uses, the setting. So I think that they just like don't want to make a sequel to that game because it's basically the World of Warcraft of action MMOs. You just can't make a sequel to something like that that's been around for so long and has so much content. All anybody's gonna say is that it just doesn't have any content. It's like, well, you know, they can't really get around that. New Genesis as well. The problem with New Genesis is that the combat sucks. Then they went for an open world and they just didn't have money to actually make a good open world. So both of those things really weigh it down. Which was the problem with Dynasty Warriors 9, you know. Dynasty Warriors 9 is not a complete crap game. It's not. I had fun playing it, and they definitely made it a lot better with updates, but like the main problem was just like not having the money to make a good open world, and then also they're really weighed down by having like 100+ characters. So there was a bunch of clones and stuff, and the movesets are small. But like the game itself, you know, it tried to do good things, but budget constraints, and then just having too many characters really held it back, which is probably a really big reason why Origins is kind of removing all that. They're not doing open world. They've already confirmed it's not open world, and then also you play as it's not a custom character, but you play as a new character, and that really frees them of having to worry about, you know, every time they add a new mechanic. Every time they add a new mechanic, they have to do it for 120 characters. I do think that that's a big part of it, which makes sense. They have an insane amount of baggage doing anything.
are badly wounded. Let us find an anvil to rest. I sense the presence of a wraith. If we... Prepare to fight. Success. That was not easy. You did well.
Where?
I do not know.
Not from Atlas.
I believe they are entering.
I mean, DFO already has content bloat. DFO already has content bloat in the form of the power creep making old content not even worth doing, which is why they've removed stuff like the Anton raid and Luke raid and stuff. That used to be endgame content, but it's not
Let me
anymore.
show you what I see.
They already have that problem with that game. Which is why stuff like Diablo 4, and Torchlight Infinite have like seasonal content. They do that for a reason. It's so they don't have to keep scaling the game up in terms of like player power and gear and stuff. Like they can, but it doesn't render all the old content irrelevant, which is a problem with DFO. And the game got to the point where you could just like jab once and do like 10 million damage. That's what a lot of people don't like seasonal. They don't like seasons and stuff, but like that's why they do that. So like content doesn't go to waste. Oh, this enemy is not fun. Let's see here. the raids are the worst part of DFO, just because the community is so immature and elitist. DFO is a fun game, but like, the raids aren't bad if you have like actual friends to do them with, you know, people you know from somewhere else, be it real life or you know them on the internet from another game. Then the raids are fine.
Oh,
Doing that
a
stuff with
shard is
randoms
close.
is just
We should look
the
for it.
polar opposite of fun. Which is why I never really bothered with the raids, because I avoid toxicity like that, especially with me being neurodivergent and having a low frustration threshold. It's just not mentally healthy for me to play stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a common complaint with that game is the community and the raids are incredibly toxic. It's just not fun. It's just like anything else co-op, for the most part. We're doing it with randoms, it's a real
Was there a
crapshoot.
time before?
I'm not saying that
Phileas?
everybody is toxic, but like,
Did
there's
the
a very
people of
high
this place
chance
know a world
you're not gonna have
Every
fun
shard helps us, but we are still not strong.
unless you've got people to play with, or you get good RNG and you actually get like decent people. I'm not talking about their gameplay quality, I'm talking about not being elitist jerks. But you can't really count on that, especially in a small community. Most people are looking for speedrun clear times and specific classes. If you're not built a specific way, then they kind of just shun you. It's always been a problem in that game. I kind of like that they've started to introduce like
Your
solo
eyes
raids
are
and
opened
stuff.
now.
It's like, you know, if you still want the actual challenging content, but you don't want to babysit mean people, you know, you can still play the game. That didn't used to be the case. It used to force you to interact with them, which was just like not enjoyable. Yeah, PSO Global had that problem too. It's people taking the raids too seriously, and it's like, you know, you guys are on an accelerated schedule. There's no point in doing the raids. That was like the main thing that was wrong with PSO Global, was the content was being added at too fast of a pace. So most of it was just like legit not worth doing. Like they had ultimate quests in there. Ultimate quests were like balls hard.
Your fault
They were incredibly difficult.
You
The point of doing it was that it was
I'm great.
episode
See this?
long lasting content. It was episode long, you know, content. It was supposed to last you for at least a year. But that kind of goes out the window when they got through the entire game's lifespan in like 11 months. It's just like the game wasn't worth playing because it wasn't designed to be progressed through that quickly. Granted, in the game's defense, PSO2 had a lot of drip feed content. It did. I'm not going to pretend that it didn't, but still weren't designed to go through all of it that quick. That was not the intention. A PSO Global in particular, the only reason it existed was because they wanted to say that they had a global release for Genesis. That's the only reason. But like actually playing Global was kind of legit pointless. The only reason to play it was
It is time
costumes.
to put this essence we have been
You
accumulating
didn't even really have to
use.
play the game for that, you could just swipe. Actually playing the game was oddly useless. It wasn't worth doing. I have to say it was pretty commendable to catch up to Japan that quick, but it came at a cost. Just like they had like actual hard content and it wasn't hard because they gave you guys like episode 6 balancing at like the beginning of the game, which made everything too easy. And then also, even if they didn't do that, there was also the problem of like, well, you're going through episodes like every other month. like literally every month there was like a new episode. And PSO2 power creep basically functioned in a way that if you grinded for something, it was for an entire episode. But instead of that being like 1.5 to 2 years, it was like 2 months. So the game was kind of not worth playing. That's kind of the thing about foreign MMOs in general, is people always want them to be caught up to Korea
Let
or
me
China
help you see.
or whatever country. In PSO2's case, Japan. But then, like, there's a downside to that, is you burn through stuff too quick. And, like, actually putting in effort to build your character just doesn't make sense, because you're going through it too fast. I think the way PGR does it, where it's like a year behind, maybe a little less than more or less than a year, is, I think that's a pretty good sweet spot. Like, you know what's coming, but it's enough time that, like, actually putting effort into your accounts
Are you not
is not
curious
completely
about
useless.
the new weapon form?
I'm not quite sure what it wants me to do here. I can't get up there. You won't go up there. Oh, never mind. I found a way to cheat it. Nice. Where's that shard? There it is. Probably was supposed to go some other way, but who cares?
Such power. A shard is close. We should look for it. This shard is protected. There should be more sealing totems nearby. Look around. Try to trace their connections.
KOF All-Star was an interesting one because KOF All-Star also did the whole speed run to being caught up thing, but then like they also actually did catch up, and then all the versions got stuff at the same time, which, despite that game's shortcomings, was really cool. It's nice that everybody had everything at the same time. There wasn't like a big advantage anymore. That game just had every other problem under the sun though, namely insane power creep, crap gacha rates, the works. Gacha rates in that game were terrible, and the power creep was even worse. I'm not surprised it shut down, or it is shutting down. I think it officially dies in October. I haven't even bothered to log in. I had my fun with that game, but it was a mess. It started off really fun, but then it got too far into power creep.
I think you did it.
There we go,
The
that one was
seal
pretty
is
easy.
broken.
KOF All-Star was also had some parallels to DFO in that what was I gonna say? Hold on, I need to think. My brain is not working very well. Had some parallels in that it used to be a beat 'em up and then it stopped being one.
Everyone is welcome at
That's
my
what I was
shop,
gonna say.
especially in a place where the number of customers is low. Ah, we meet
KOF
again.
All-Star used to be a
I
beat 'em
thought
up.
that-
No time to talk. I want
not.
to trade.
No longer a beat 'em up.
We have a deal. But don't get mad if I sell this with a profit. Did you know that many items of the past? I know. So it. But have an eye.
I think they're moving away from MMOs because the competition is fierce, and they're all like existing properties, so it's hard to compete. I'm definitely interested in Overkill now that it's not gacha, but I don't know. I don't think that game is ever actually coming out.
This village tracker always talked about this.
You see,
Yes.
we must not. We should now be able to unearth the passage.
I'm not convinced.
You are... Wait. There is a...
Oh.
I do not believe so. Though finding...
You return.
I'm ready to open the...
A large wraith.
That is not a...
Ah,
I'm just a...
yes.
It is...
Worn by the...
We have completed a map. We should take a look at it.
I don't know, I don't mind gachas. I don't mind them. The problem I have with gachas is post-Genshin monetization, meaning 50-50 pity for characters, and then like not having bundles. So like if you want to spend like 40-50 bucks on the game, you know, you just get a crap value. That's what I don't like about them. Like Zenless Zone Zero, that was like the biggest turnoff for me of that game. That and the TV mode. The TV mode just gets old really quick. But like, what I really don't like about the game is that they have no packages. You can't get everything by like spending even a little bit. And I just don't like that. And that's post Genshin gacha monetization for you. That's why stuff like DMC Peak of Combat, despite being very heavily monetized, is still a better deal than playing like Genshin or Zenless or Wuthering Waves, because they actually have packages. The packages you could spend, you know, 50 bucks or something and get pretty close to getting a character if you play it right. That's what I don't like about modern gachas, is Genshin has really poisoned the well in terms of how they want to make money off the games, and that really sucks. For the most part, if it's like a really big popular game, you pretty much can't expect it to have like decent monetization. It's gonna have the opposite. How much can we screw you over? somebody said that once you get to level 50 on Zenless Zone Zero, there's no more packages at all. It's just straight. I think the other thing I don't like about it too is that what they do is when you first buy something, this is applicable to Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Is the first time that you just straight buy the currency, they give you double, and that's like actually a good deal. It's objectively a good deal. You get a lot for that money, even if you only spend like $15 to $30. But then after that, you don't get double anymore, and it's a crap value, and that's what I can't stand. Like, the double should be what you get every time. And for people like me that are on a low income, but like also aren't free to play on gachas, meaning that I'm like a dolphin, I do spend money, just not like an insane amount at a time. That really sucks. That's why I play PGR. Like, PGR I haven't played in a few days, but when I get some money in a few days, I'm gonna spend like probably $50. Get the battle pass and then a bunch of currency so I can get the next character. And that's why I've spent more on that game than like anything else. Because the microtransactions are actually fair. Crazy how that works, huh? You give me a good value, I'll actually spend money. You give me a crap value, I won't spend any money.
For us.
It went towards the Knight's Gate to block our way.
Then let's end it. We're strong enough now. Return to dust, shattered.
I'm glad that Kuro Games is doing really well with Wuthering. I think they deserve it, especially because the thing about Kuro compared to other gacha companies is they're very receptive to feedback. You know, if you tell them, like, hey, this part of your game sucks, you know, they take that to heart and they fix it within reason. And I've definitely played a lot of games where, service games where they just like don't listen at all. Avengers was one, Knights of Valor PS4 was another one, KOF All-Star, another one. They just completely refuse to listen, and you know that's why those games shut down. It's just a complete refusal to listen to people that like the game enough to play it on a regular basis and, you know, spend money. The thing about Kuro is that your investments are safe with them. They always listen. You know, Wuthering Waves was a disaster at launch, and they did fix those problems pretty quick. You know, the fact that they didn't have 120 FPS support at launch was bunk, but then, like, the optimization was also so bad that I don't think most people would have been able to reach it anyway. But, you know, they just announced earlier this week that 120 FPS support is going to be the next update in like a week. You know, I like that about them. I dislike how they've decided to copy Genshin monetization one-to-one, because that was one of the best things about PGR, is that just playing diligently and spending a minimal amount of money, you could get everything. Of course, if you wanted to get like dupes and stuff, you'd have to spend a lot of money, but just like being competitive was minimal effort and money. And I don't like how they've really went that way, that direction, but they do listen. So, despite kind of backpedaling on how things work, I think that they're worth, your money is safe with them, and I think that definitely goes a long way for sure. I mean, Wuthering Waves has been making like 30 million a month, which is pretty nuts. They're actually like a legit competitor to
An anvil
Genshin.
must be nearby. The gauntlet resonates with it.
I think Mihoyo definitely needs some competition, but I definitely do think that if they hadn't copied the monetization, they would have made more money. That's my take on it. Like, you know, if you didn't copy their predatory monetization, you would have had more low-income people like me spending money, but you know, they decided to copy it verbatim, so what ends up happening is that people like me just don't spend much at all. That's a shame, because it's a good game. It's just, greed. Everybody thinks that because Genshin does it, that everybody else can have that crappy monetization. But that stuff really pushes me away. I like knowing if I decide to spend like 50 bucks on something like that, that I'm actually getting a good value. Yeah, that's also part of why they monetize the games like that, because full videos are very popular. Full videos are very popular. People like watching. They like watching gambling. There's a lot less people that actually want to do it themselves, but watching full videos is actually like legit popular. So that's what allows that to happen. Like, PGR pull videos are generally not very exciting, unless the person is going for like SSS+, because that requires either saving up for like literal months or spending a lot of money.
I'm not ready. I need to collect my wares.
Like, just getting a character in PGR is not very interesting. Mostly just because if you come prepared, you'll get the character guaranteed, which makes it, like, not very interesting to watch. Predatory monetization and pull videos kind of go hand in hand. Like, I do pull videos for PGR, and, like, they don't really get much traction. Just because, you know I'm gonna get the character, right? You know I'm gonna get the character. The only thing that's really exciting about watching PGR videos is that, like, hey, maybe they might get it early. Alright, almost time for me to go. Let's do a little bit more slime game. And then I gotta go get something to eat because it's getting hot outside.
Koku. 転生したらスライムだった件。
The problem I have with those pull videos is that they give a very false representation of how even the most predatory stuff like Genshin is. You don't need to do that to beat anything in the game. Like, despite how crap the monetization is, you don't need to have a maxed out character to clear anything at all. The games are not balanced that way. Even with crap characters, they might be a lot less fun to play, yes, but you can clear all the content with them. But what those pull videos do is they make people think that you need to do that to be competitive. PGR is the same way to a certain degree. The thing about PGR is that the way the dupes work is, like, past, like, the third or fourth dupe, you get all the gameplay changing stuff, and everything past that is just stats. So what that essentially means is that no matter how well you play, you're not going to place at the highest compared to somebody that can wail like that every single patch. Because every interaction they're doing with an enemy is doing, like, 60% more damage. Like, no skill is going to allow you to compete with that. It's just not possible. But the thing about the game is that you get rewarded by participation. The stuff that you get from placing high, you do get more, but I would argue, personally, if you're spending that much money on the game to place that high, you don't need the extra rewards, which is why the game is very well designed. But yeah, people look at those videos, they're like, I never want to play a game like this. I'm like, no, you can. You can just buy the Battle Pass and the monthly subscription, which is, like, usually about $15 on those games. And you can compete. You won't have every character, you won't have them maxed out, but you can still clear all the content. But yeah, those videos are very popular, but they kind of paint a false picture of, like, what actually playing the game is like for a normal person that can't or doesn't want to spend that much money. I'd argue most people can't spend that much money, but there are people that can and just don't want to. But, like, either way, you don't need to.
接敵を確認しました。ふむふむ、結構調子いいな。お？なんだこれ。資源の足しにするか。国、接敵を確認しました。よっ。めちゃくちゃ似ております。 ふむふむ、結構調子いいな。資源の足しにするか。資源の足しにするか。
国接敵を確認しました。
悪い、任せるぞ。オーガフレイム、あとはお任せします。これくらいは当然です。
国標的を発見しました。
まだまだ、ここは任せます。遅いよ。めちゃくちゃにしてやります。この調子でガンガンいくぞ。お、なんだこれ。資源の足しにするか。資源の足しにするか。
国標的を発見しました。
よっ、そら、たあ、おすせ、キラ、さすがに
愚か者め。リムルストームカノン。
そら、それ、それ、おりゃ、たあ、よっ、行くぞ、そら、たあ、よっ、おりゃ、そら、くらえ、それ、余裕、やるじゃないか、そしき、たあ、おりゃ、それ、キラ、
愚か者め。ストームカノン。
ふむふむ、結構調子いいな。
国目標を達成しました。
よーし、目標達成。よし、諸君。
国新たな目標が発生しました。
この機会に気になるところも調査しておこう。
Alright, I gotta hop in the shower and go grab something to eat because I'm very low on funds. I can't afford to order out. I have to actually go brave the awful heat and go walk to get something because that's what happens when you don't make the money you deserve. And I also have to admit something. I streamed for like an hour and I didn't actually have my stream on, so that's why the stream is a little bit shorter than usual. I thought I just didn't have any viewers, but it turns out I forgot to actually turn my stream on, so I'm sorry the stream's a little shorter. But yeah, this is about the cap. It's 12:30 right now. It's about the cap. By the time I get in the shower and walk over there, it's going to be like 1 o'clock. It's already going to be like scorching hot. So I gotta go. It's a self-inflicted problem that the stream is short because I forgot to turn the stream on. But I did play about an hour of this. I just didn't have my stream on. And then I also fought with Atlas Fallen for like 20 minutes trying to get that to work. So, I'll probably come back later tonight. Maybe at my neighbor's house if my neighbor's brother is okay tonight. I'll probably stream over there. This is the last chapter of the game as far as I can tell, so I would like to be done with this by this weekend. And from there, I'll probably do Atlas Fallen. I thought this game was going to be a lot longer, so I kind of freed up my schedule. I didn't really want to start any new games until this one was done, but it really does feel like I might even finish the game today with all the off-stream gaming I'll be doing on this, because this game is a great Steam Deck game. Whether you like the game or not, it is one of the better, newer Steam Deck games that you can play, where like the parity is completely perfect compared to playing on console. But, you know, you actually get to take it with you, and if there's ever mods for this game, you can use those as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I've kind of got a free lease on being an adult until I have to go work at my neighbor's house tonight. So I'll probably come back, because I would like to finish this by the weekend and get out an overview, because there's like no reviews for this game at all. They didn't do any pre-release keys, they didn't do any sponsored streams, so even though I don't expect it to do well, I still want to do it anyway, because I'm having fun playing it. That's really all that's all I'm concerned about personally. I'm having fun playing it, trying to change my mindset with this channel a little bit. And, one thing I've noticed, in particular, is that smaller channels like mine, that have been around for a long time, the algorithm just doesn't promote us at all. And I've seen this happen with people that are even bigger than mine. So, like I said in my community post, I'm going to be making some changes. Try to do some more long-form edited content. Raw gameplay is still here to stay. I'm not going to budge on that, because it's very hard to find good raw gameplay of someone that's halfway decent at playing, and I know that that's one of the things I'm like really good at. But the reality is that the ad revenue I've gotten, despite my views being pretty consistent, getting around 40 to 50,000 views a month, I'm getting paid like complete dirt. So that's one thing that I have a little bit of control over, that I hope will allow me to not have to ask for help so much. I'm going to be starting this new routine with this game, because I'm pretty close, as you can see here. I don't know if there's actually going to be any more playable characters, but I've got most of them like almost maxed out. So I can do like a full moveset video for this. It probably wouldn't take more than like an hour. I want to start trying to do stuff like that, just to try to make ends meet a little bit less of hard mode. But yeah, so I'll probably be streaming this primarily until I get to that point, which I should be done with this game by the weekend at the rate I'm going, and then I'll be pretty much free until Gundam Breaker 4 comes out. So I'll probably play Atlas Fallen, some roguelikes as well. But yeah, I don't really want to start any like really long games right now, because that's going to be like the major thing. I don't think Atlas Fallen will take 2 weeks to finish. If I play it like an hour or two a day like I have been, I should be able to get some videos out for that too. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. Hop in the shower and go grab a bite to eat, and I'll see you guys later.